Okay.
Doesn't look like that's okay. There we go.
There, it just takes a second.
Sorry, getting into it again. Click the cloud.
Recording.
Good to go.
All set. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Planning Advisory Committee meeting for September 10th. My name is Roger. I'm the chair. And if any time during the meeting you prefer speaking in French, please do so. We're bilingual. And at any time you have a question, please raise your hand, and you need to give us your name and address so it can be added to the minutes of our meeting, okay? All right. So I'll call the meeting to order. Any declaration of a pecuniary interest? Okay, no. We'll move on to the adopting of the agenda.
It is moved by Dan Gagné and seconded by Kathleen Rochon. Be it resolved that the agenda for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting held on September 10th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Everybody, everybody is okay. Okay, we're calling. Okay, adopt. We'll move on to the minutes, adoption of the minutes.
It is moved by Kathleen Rochon and seconded by Dan Gagné. Be it resolved that the minutes of the meeting held on July 11th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Hoping everybody had a chance to read it, and if there's any questions on it. And if not, I'll call it to a vote. Everybody's okay with the agenda? I'm sorry, with the minutes? Good, adopted. All right, we'll move on to the zoning bylaw amendment, 5.1. Bill Whitman and Sarah Murdoch.
Yes, it is moved by Dan Gagné and seconded by Kathleen Rochon, whereas a public meeting was held on September 10th, 2024 for the purpose of amending zoning bylaw 2014-45, and whereas no written concerns or objections have been received to the proposed amendment, be it resolved that the Planning Advisory Committee of the Municipality of West Nipissing recommends that the Council for the West Nipissing Municipality adopts the proposed zoning bylaw to rezone the property at 37 Pine Ridge Road, and more particularly as shown on the attached sketch, and that Schedule D54 of the bylaw be amended to change the zoning designation of the property, which is more particularly described as Part Lots 1 and 2, Concession 3, Field Township, from Shoreline Residential to Shoreline Residential Exception Zone 21. And this file is to permit an accessory residential unit in a proposed detached garage. So we've got a 3-bay garage and then this detached accessory structure that's a 2-bedroom in that building.
Okay. Any questions from our panel? No. Mark, you're good? You have it? Go ahead, Kathleen.
Questions. So according to the zoning bylaw, detached accessory dwellings are not permitted, correct?
That is correct. Not in a separate structure.
And on page 12, you include a table that show from the official plan that shows permitted land uses in designated urban and rural settlement areas. And you have highlighted their garden suites. Can you tell me the difference between a garden suite and an accessory dwelling?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. A garden suite is a temporary use that's for a period of 10 years, after which it needs to be removed, where this is an additional residential unit, which would be permanent.
Okay, but in the waterfront district here, accessory dwellings are not included in the official plan either.
So the way that this is worded is accessory structures to a main use, and examples they've put are garden suites and bed and breakfast establishments.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, that's very similar use and effect.
But in the column next to it in rural district, it actually lists accessory dwellings as a permitted use. So there is a difference, and they do recognize that accessory dwellings are fine in rural districts, but they don't identify them as being good in waterfront districts.
It is written that they're allowed in there. We have done this in other occasions as well that have been within the waterfront district, so there is that precedent there.
Okay, and there's an existing residential structure on the property already?
Yes.
Okay, what's the square footage of it?
Seeing if I have a plans here. There's an existing cabin which has an area of about 83 square meters.
Okay, and is that serviced with a well and a septic at this time?
Yes, I believe so.
And will an additional septic system be required for this new?
I believe that their intent
Dwelling?
is, pardon?
For the new dwelling?
I believe that their intent is that they are intending to take down the current cottage and rebuild a larger dwelling in the future. So they're going to be building a different septic, which will accommodate both of the structures
On the same site,
on
right?
the same site, yes.
That was one of my questions regarding the septic on this, for this.
But how are they going to service this building right now?
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Mind if you're out?
No, just because the septic is very far away from where the
Yeah.
proposed
State your name,
structure is.
please.
I'm Bill Whiteman.
Whiteman,
from
okay.
37 Pine Ridge. Actually from Niagara, but.
Okay,
The purpose for this garage is to build the garage and then have that separate facility to basically live in while we build the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually going to be capped off until we build the house, at which point everything will be attached. I really don't have any need to attach the water in that structure. It's just, we have to do it because the foundation's going to get poured and it has to be under it. But it won't even be attached to anything until we do the primary residence.
Is the primary residence going to be attached to this, this structure?
No, it'll be in front of it.
So what's,
There's actually two divisions too, like there's a 3-car garage
mhm.
and it has a gray water pit just in case I wanted to wash cars. So I've got the permit it's going through the process with Mattawa Conservation. So that would be the garage side. And then as far as the other side, that's the part that would have to be connected into the actual septic.
So what's the purpose of having the dwelling unit in the garage at this time?
To be honest, it's actually not, we're building it so that we have a spot while we're building. I'm a builder, so I'll build my own place. But it just gives me a place to stay while we build it. Once the actual home is up, my wife's a writer. One of those bedrooms is her office and the other bedroom is my office because I work from home.
so my question is, all the other structures on the property, they're just, none of them are habitable, right?
No, there's too many. That was from Atlanta, so there's too many. We've agreed that we can make them out once it goes up. They're all just sheds, like
Yeah,
one of them's even just a cap for the pump. Like it
Okay.
was deemed as a outbuilding, but yeah, we are breaking that rule right now with more than 3.
I was going to say because that was my other question, like
My
we're
father
allowing,
loves sheds.
yeah, we're allowing another accessory structure to be built when the number
We're
on
one windstorm away from them all
clearly
falling.
exceeds
No, they'll be,
what
they'll
the
be
permissions are on that.
okay, and the land is big enough regardless to house accessory buildings like this, right?
Yes.
So it conforms to the other well, I guess bylaws or amenities for the percentage of land usage.
Yes.
Okay. That was my question.
Okay.
Are we all good? Do we have any more questions from the, okay, go ahead, sir. Jason?
Andy Thiessen. I'm from 216 Cache Bay Road. I'm right behind the blue building there.
Mr. Thiessen,
Okay,
we're not at that application yet.
no. We're in the, we're talking about Pine Ridge Road.
Pine Ridge.
Yeah, we'll get to the next.
Yeah, next one you can talk. Okay, so any more?
I'm sorry, I'll just say one more thing. My only concern is like, when the house gets built, now we do have two separate dwelling units when it really shouldn't be that way. The lot is such a size that even if you split it in two, it would be less than the absolute minimum. So, you know, you can build this now, then when it comes back for a building permit for the main house, the main structure, you know, we will still have a lot there that has, a detached dwelling unit. And that's, you know, like I understand the temporary nature of wanting somewhere to stay while you're building. But, you know, that is a concern to me because I think that the zoning bylaw and the official plan were clear on, you know, shoreline residential really should only have one dwelling unit for a bunch of environmental and capacity and impact issues. So that's my concern. But
Go ahead.
having said that, there probably wouldn't be, I'm asking, would there be enough room to put an additional septic if the lot was ever split into? Probably not.
no, it would never be able to. be split into.
So it'll never be split. So that kind of alleviates,
Mm.
in my mind. And when after I saw that three of the smaller buildings were to be removed, it kind of clears up, and I'm okay with it.
I'm good. Thank you.
Any more questions? Mark, you don't have none?
No, some of the same questions, you know, like basically multiple units for habitation right on the water. It's almost like a tourist resort, but it sounds like it's okay.
All right. So hearing no more questions regarding, I'll bring it to a vote. Anybody in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll move on to 5.2, Danielle Gannett.
Are we able to?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you can leave.
Yes, thank you very much. Good luck with your. Welcome to West Nipissing.
You're excited. It's been here a while.
It is moved by Kathleen Perron and seconded by Daniel Gagne, whereas a public meeting was held on September 10th, 2024 for the purpose of temporarily amending zoning bylaw 2014-45, and whereas no written concerns or objections have been received to the proposed temporary use bylaw, and whereas Section 39 of the Planning Act enables the council municipal, the local municipality to pass a bylaw under Section 34 of the Act to authorize the temporary use of land, buildings, or structures for any purpose that is otherwise prohibited by the applicable zoning bylaw. Be it resolved that the Planning Advisory Committee for the Municipality of West Nipissing recommends that the Council for the West Nipissing Municipality adopts the proposed temporary use zoning bylaw to rezone the property at 178 Craig Street, and more particularly as shown on the attached sketch, for a period of 2 years. So this application is to permit two beverage manufacturing companies that are currently in the building. There is a pop manufacturing company and a wine manufacturer that are currently using the space. This application would be a temporary use bylaw. So instead of permanently altering the zoning regulations for it, it allows us to add very specific uses to this zone for a period up to 3 years. We've discussed with the applicant at setting it at 2 years. This will allow the operation to continue legal while also giving them an opportunity to further their business, but not grow too large in this mainly residential area, and let them find that time to find a more adequate space.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from our panel? No, I have one. Is this commercial already? Is it zoned commercial? Okay.
Yes.
Temporary.
I'm sorry?
Temporary.
So
My name is,
Yeah, but,
my name is Paul Murchison.
Sir?
okay,
We'll get to the public in a moment.
yeah, I'll ask in a moment. The question I had was, is the existing zoning on this property commercial?
Yes, so the current property is zoned commercial. It has a site-specific zone,
Okay.
which limits the permitted uses just to motor vehicle service station and indoor storage. And then
Okay.
there was a minor variance as well in 2019, which added professional office and contractors establishment. So those 4 uses are currently permitted, and it is a commercial zone,
Okay,
and that would not be changed. So after the 2-year period, if this was to go forward, that's what they would be left with 2 years
still
later.
be commercial.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any questions from our panel? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Murchison.
The only question I had was, I read what was online, and it sounded to me like there was something going on in the past, and that building was there when it really, I don't know if it was legal, but it was a gray area. So they gave a temporary, commercial zoning, but specifically for a garage and indoor storage. And if you proceed with the proposal, after 2 years, it would revert back to the 2 specific businesses types that were already there. The garage and the storage.
Is that correct?
That's the way it reads anyway.
Yes, that's correct, sir.
So if a gentleman sells the building or decides to relocate, the only 2 businesses that could go back in there would be a garage, repair garage and storage. Is that correct?
Yes, in addition, there was that minor variance which added professional office and contractors establishment.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, those 4 uses would be what's permitted.
The only concern that I have, I don't live on Cashway Road, but my sister-in-law does, and I'm part owner of the property, so my concern is large trucks. I don't know what kind of volume they plan on doing, but it's definitely not a transport truck road. I don't think the road is rated, weight-wise, I don't know. But that was one of my concerns, that, we're gonna have heavy trucks driving back and forth and on Cashway Road. On Craig Street.
Okay. So, you have any, can you enlighten us with Cashway Road or Craig Street?
I'll just butt in. We did not receive any concerns or comments from our public works manager
Okay,
as to the suitability of the road. It is a public road, so
okay. So it's not, Wade wouldn't have any issue on the area?
no, the
Area
public,
road.
if it did, the public works manager would have flagged it in his comments.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Denise Fontaine, 212 Cache Bay Road. The road in question on Craig is not, it's a makeshift road. It's a gravel road. The mailboxes were recently moved there. And it is dodging pits, what do you call those? Potholes, consistently. After every rain, I can just imagine what it's gonna be like in the winter as well. I have no objection whatsoever to using that road for small vehicles, but definitely not for larger vehicles, because then our access to the mailboxes will also be limited. I used to live in a very remote location where it was all gravel road, and in the spring, major issues with road grading and after every rain. I also have another question. I've noticed a lot of outdoor materials that are on this property, which goes further back than what was believed to be allowed. When I purchased 212 Cache Bay Road, I actually came here to the town and had explained to me my lots, because I do have a double lot and it goes back to the tree line. And I had asked what these red lines were. And I was told it was, it eventually would be road access if the township decided to build beyond the tree line. And now there is no longer an access there because the Pop Shop has now extended. There's now a trailer, I believe, on the location. And there's this big fat that is being used on that location. Big Blue Vat, so I'm not exactly sure if that's part and parcel of what's going on with the approval tonight. But I just have a lot of questions. How did this all transpire? Was the road there and then it's gone? Was it sold by the township and not given notification to the people in that area? I don't know. So I'm just here for answers about that.
Okay. In my opinion,
Well, I can speak to the fact that there was an application for a lot addition by the property. We did the lot addition not too long ago. A year?
Yeah, year and a half.
A year and a half ago. And it was determined at that time that because of the geographical makeup of the land behind there, it really wasn't going to be suitable for future development, and therefore there wasn't really a use for the municipality holding on to a road allowance when it wasn't going to be developed. That being said, if you were interested in purchasing that same part of the area to extend your yard even further, an application could be made through our planning department. I can't remember what the sale price was. It probably wasn't a lot, 10,000 or 15,000.
10 or 15, so I don't have.
I don't want to, don't hold me on the number, but it was done as a lot addition by application. Like I say, I don't recall the date, but at least a year ago probably. So the land that they are using now for the parking or storage is actually land belonging to that parcel at this point.
I'll just add that we did, before entering into the agreement of purchase and sale, we did have an encroachment agreement with the prior owner, as there was a long-standing encroachment of that building on the
That's what it
municipal road
was.
allowance in the first place.
That's what it was.
and obviously, ma'am, if you do have questions about potholes, you just have to call the municipality. Because it's up to the roads to take care of the road, not this person, okay? So.
No, I realize
if there is-
that. I'm saying
If there is
access.
ruts in the road, you just call the municipality. It has nothing to do with us.
No problem. I'm just saying that access to big vehicles going down that road would be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
So I'm on 216 Cache Bay Road, so I'm right behind. I've been there 10 plus years. It's two separate properties. I pay taxes on two properties there. I bought my property with future intent of giving each one to one of my kids when I pass away. I no longer have that opportunity because I don't have road access. So now my property, in my opinion, has decreased in value. So what does the town do for just people that have been here for 10 plus years? And all of a sudden, it just gets pushed to the wayside.
Okay, go ahead.
I can speak to that, and I have spoken with you on the phone, Mr. Thiessen, when you inquired about this before. As I indicated to you, you have a road allowance behind your property, but it is not a road. It's not maintained. There are no municipal services. And as such, there would have been no ability, if you were to convey it separately, which I'm not going to argue the legality of, that property could never be serviced. It can't get water and sewer. It doesn't have any road access from a municipally maintained road. So it's not, it
Why
is,
wasn't
you do
this
have two
brought
lots
to
like
the
your neighbor.
homeowners? Why wasn't this brought to the homeowners or the future purchasers of the property that this is, yeah, you have two properties, but you can't do shit with the back one?
I don't know, were you led to believe in the beginning?
100%.
Okay, and unfortunately, I can't speak to what you may have been told years ago. But the topography there, as you know, is solid rock. And the town, the likelihood of ever being able to expand there is virtually impossible because of the amount
As
of rock.
close as my property is, it's no problem to put a road back there and then right there, a small short road. You guys do it elsewhere in town and other places, but all of a sudden, now I can't do anything with my back property. And I can't build on my back property. So my intent, and I've used it for years, storing my 30-foot camping trailer. I've had boats. I've had to get rid of everything I have because I no longer can get them into my backyard.
Go ahead, Mark.
Justification for the homeowner.
Okay, good. Mark, you had a question?
No.
Okay, sorry. Sir, I don't, is there any more, I don't,
I have.
Your property is, other than, as I told you on the phone, your property is fully accessible from Cache Bay Road. Your rear property and your front property, you have frontage on Cache Bay Road.
So I have to tear my garage down to be able to get anything into my backyard?
As I told you, not everybody can get to their backyard.
So the town don't care about the homeowners. Okay, I understand. Okay, perfect.
No,
No, I get it. No, I get it.
go ahead, Mr. Hutchinson.
Murchison. At any time, was there legal access from Craig Street to 216 and back there?
it's an unmaintained road allowance. It's municipal property.
That kind of clears the picture.
Okay. And we have to stay with the content of what we're doing tonight, and the application is strictly to, the owner is just asking for an extension on the zoning bylaw, and this is what we're here for, okay? Okay. Any more questions? No?
I'll just make a comment.
Go ahead.
I don't believe that there'll ever be large vehicle traffic on that part of Craig Street. I was on our organizing committee for Maple Producers Association summer tour, and we visited that location as a stop on our summer tour. And we had, I believe, 3 coaches actually tour and go in there and turn around. And I don't believe that there was an issue. But as far as large vehicle or volume, I cannot foresee. I'll see maybe some smaller service trucks, such as Canada Post trucks or delivery or that's my view of it.
And I'll just say, I've also visited the facility as early as a couple of weeks ago. And it's a really unique business that they've started here in West Nipissing. I've spoken at length with the owners, and it's not their intent to stay there long term. They are looking for a more accessible, more visible location. But what they're doing is really neat and unique, and I feel this is an opportunity to support a small business getting started in the community, even though it's through the landlord, but still, and I think that given that it's a temporary use, I'm comfortable with it.
I am also. Mr. Gannett, go ahead.
My name's I own the building, and the road, I totally empathize with the comments made, because the road was never at that level, but since the municipality relocated the mailboxes to that road, there's a lot of traffic, which is causing that challenge with the road. In regards to larger vehicles, there really isn't a whole heck of a lot going in there. Small cube van would probably be the largest vehicle you'll get in there, so.
I was just concerned about transport.
Yeah, no, but the road is definitely a challenge, and that's something that, obviously the municipality owns, so.
Just as a comment, if you use our service request portal on the website and just, identify that there are potholes, it will get queued for grading. So, that's the best way to deal with that when you notice the conditions deteriorating, you can either call in or use the website to say, hey, it's looking a little rough. And it'll get on the list for rotation with Public Works. So now that there's more use going in and out of there.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
My apologies, just one very quick question,
go ahead.
Denise again. So after 2 years,
Mhm.
it goes back to commercial for that building only? Or does it go to residential?
It'll always stay commercial.
Right,
This is just to have that extension on that little small small business that's there now,
Understood.
okay? Okay, so no more questions? I'll bring it to a vote. Anybody in favor? Carried. We're all done. We need to adjourn.
Thank you very much, folks. It is moved by Dan Gagne and seconded by Kathleen. Be it resolved that the meeting of West Nipissing Planning Advisory Committee held on September 10th, 2024 be adjourned.
Everybody in favor for an adjournment? Of course, carried. We're moving to what date?
Second, I think it's
October 8th.
October 8th.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
You too.
I will miss October 8th, but,
You going hunting?
yes, sir.
Okay, so October.
Stop the live stream.
Okay. We're done.